Hi, I'm Stephanie. This is the Yacht Club, and today we're going to do a standing flow. This will be level 2, so we're going to include some more advanced balance postures today. Let's start standing with a chair nearby. We're going to be using it one-handed today. So first you can start by standing in front of your chair and just begin to shift your weight side to side. You can let your arms gently swing and begin to practice just listening to your feet. See what textures you're feeling through the floor. If there's any tension or tightness or any soreness. And notice the change in sensation as you switch from one side to the other. We're just shifting your weight. Let your arms swing. You can even begin to add a little bit of a twist. And just enjoy this freedom of movement, the lightness of your space. Welcome yourself to your mat. Get curious about your sensations in your body. Find a lightness and a freedom here. And turn to one side, place your one hand on your chair. Ground both your feet through the floor. You could even lift up your toes and plant them back into the ground. Ground down through your heels and the balls of your feet. Grow long. Find length through your spine, through the top of your head. Relax any tension in your shoulders or your neck. Take a deep breath in and bring one arm up over your head. And exhale it back down to your side. One more time. Inhale, big deep breath in. Fill up your chest. Exhale down to the side. Put a little bend in your knees. Inhale up. And hinge forward from your hips. Keep those knees bent and reach all the way down towards the floor. If you have a block, you could rest your hand on the block. And let your head be heavy here. Find freedom in your low back by keeping your knees bent. You could try swaying side to side. Shaking your head, yes or no. Inhale, place your hand on your thigh or on your block and stretch your back long. So reach the crown of your head out towards the wall across from you. Keep those knees bent. Find length and freedom in your spine. Keep grounding through your feet. On your next exhale, fold forward again. Notice if you found any more space in your spine, if you're able to fold a little deeper. And on your next inhale, reach out to the side, rise up. And exhale your arm back down to the side. And let's flow through one more time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend your knees, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold down towards your feet. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hinge from your hips, fold forward. Inhale, long spine, hands on your block or your thigh. Exhale, fold. Inhale, ground through your feet and rise all the way up. Exhale, hand back to your side. And let's turn and find the same movements on the other side. So begin by grounding through your feet. Lengthen through your spine and out through the top of your head. Bend your knees. Inhale, reach your arm up over your head. Exhale, hinge from your hips, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hinge forward, fold down towards your feet. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Last one. I'm hoping your legs are starting to feel a little warmer. Inhale, reach up over your head. Exhale, hinge from your hips. Keep your knees bent. Fold forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hand back down to your spine. And let's turn. Now that we have a little heat building, let's step one foot back for crescent pose. So step back the outside foot, and you can decide how wide feels stable, but I want you to be able to maintain your hips pointing forward. So one foot is planted, the other foot was back with your toes curled under. And begin to explore bending that front knee. So as you bend it, your weight's going to shift forward. You could pulse in and out of it just to feel the weight shift. Decide if you want to lengthen your stance. And once you feel comfortable, let's hold crescent pose. You can keep your hand on your hip or begin to reach that outside arm forward or up over your head. Strengthen through your hips. You can bring that back leg towards straight. And draw your front hip back. So you're maintaining those level, neutral hips. Both hip bones are pointing forward. And bring your arm down. Let's find a twist. So your outside arm will be across your body to the chair. And the arm that was holding the chair is going to reach back. So you're spinning your torso towards your bent leg. Still stabilizing with the chair. Still keeping those hips neutral. And breathe here. And gently untwist. Step your back foot forward just a little bit, enough that you can place your heel on the ground. Straighten both legs. Really lengthen through your spine. Get tall here. Keep those hip points pointing forward. Then from here, hinge through your hips and find pyramid pose. So you can keep your hand on your outside hip, or if you have a block down next to your front foot, you can place your hand on your block. But to begin here, lengthen through your spine, just like we did during our sun salutations. So find a lot of length, a lot of space. And if there's room, you could begin to fold down a little deeper. Don't let your hips turn open. We're keeping both hip points pointing forward. And breathe. You can begin to relax down over that leg if you feel comfortable doing that. And just be aware if your front knee is beginning to hyperextend, you could keep a little baby bend in that front knee. And inhale, bring your hand back to your hip, press through your feet, and bring your head back upright. And let's find the same poses on the other side. So turn around. Breathe and find center. Then step your outside foot back for crescent pose. Hand comes to your hip and begin to bend your front knee. Pulse in and out. You can sync your breath with your movement, exhaling as you bend. And if you have more space, you could begin to widen your stance. And as you're comfortable, find some stability and hold the pose. Hand can stay on the hip, or you can reach up towards over your head. Your hips are strong, lots of energy through your feet. And we're maintaining that length in your spine, so your head still is reaching towards the ceiling. And if your hand is raised over your head, bring it back down. Reach it across your body to your chair and begin to twist your torso and stretch your opposite arm back. So you're twisting towards your bent leg. And breathe. As you inhale, find length in your spine, and as you exhale, maybe find a little bit deeper of a twist. Make sure those hips stay pointing forward. And gently unwind. Step your back foot in just enough that you can plant your heel on the ground. Find a lot of length. Then begin to hinge from your hips. Reach your head long. And you can place your hand on a block if you have it, or you can keep it at your hip. First, find a flat spine. Find neutral hips. And as you breathe more length, maybe you find more space to begin to fold forward a little deeper. This is pyramid pose. You can keep a little baby bend in your front knee if that helps free up your low back and prevents you from hyperextending. And on an inhale, bring your hand to your hip, press down through your feet, and rise back up to standing. And step your feet together. Let's turn back to the opposite side. We're going to explore some balance poses here. So, shift your weight side to side. Begin to remember how we started here. Just listen to your feet. And then as you shift your weight into the foot closest to the chair, let the opposite foot begin to rise up. So we're thinking all the energy is coming from the floor, lifting up. So you could float your foot with just your toes touching. And if you have the strength, begin to draw that leg all the way up to 90 degrees. So you still have the balance of the chair, but you're really strong through your thigh and through your hips that's holding your leg upright. And breathe. We're building strength, building heat, building balance. And then begin to hinge forward. You're going to push that heel backward out behind you as your upper body leans forward. So this is warrior 3. One hand still balancing on the chair, but your leg is shooting out behind you. Now your face is parallel with the floor. So find a spot that you can gaze at and keep your balance. And notice what your hips are doing. We want them to be neutral and level. And breathe here. You're really strong through your grounded foot. And even through the foot that's in the air, you have a lot of energy going out through your heel out behind you. Now, if you feel really steady, you could reach your opposite arm out to the side or out in front, or maybe back behind you. And bring your hand back to your hip. Let's hinge back up and come back to standing. Place both feet on the ground. Find neutral. And turn and face the other side. So begin by shifting your weight side to side. And as your weight shifts into the foot closest to the chair, begin to lift your energy up from the ground and let that outside foot begin to float up, maybe to your toes. You're welcome to stay here if you have the strength. You can draw your leg all the way up. This is one-legged Tadasana. Notice what your hips are doing. We want to keep them level and keep both feet really active. You're still tall through your spine. And just be aware of your breath here. So we want to keep a nice smooth inhale and exhale through all these exercises. If you find yourself breathing heavy, just come back down. And as you're ready, begin to hinge from your hips. Push that heel back behind you, straighten your leg as your upper body comes parallel to the ground. You still have a steady hand on the chair. And use the hand on your hip to notice if your hips are level. We're going for a long straight line of energy, reaching out through your heel and out through the top of your head, pulling in opposite directions. If you feel steady, welcome to bring your hand out to the side, out behind you or out in front. Feel the lightness of Warrior 3. And bring your hand back to your hip. Let's hinge back up. Beautiful. Now we're going to begin to wind down here, so you can keep a hand on the chair if you need it for stability. But let's gently shift your weight side to side. And maybe roll your shoulders. Begin to deepen your breath. Slow down here. And find some rolls the other direction. Find some stillness in your feet and draw some half circles with your neck. Catching your breath here. You could pause on one side. Maybe look down towards your shoulder and up towards the ceiling. And come on over to the other shoulder. Let gravity pull your head down. Maybe turn your head to look towards your shoulder. And tilt it up towards the ceiling. Let's roll towards center and look up. Gently here, we don't want any crunching in your neck. And bring your head back to neutral. Now I'm going to move my chair, but you can keep yours where it is and just turn to face your chair. And let's begin to slowly walk your feet backwards. Hands are both on the chair. And find a forward fold with a lot of support here. So you could even bring your elbows to the chair, rest your hand on your arms, keep a deep bend in your knees, and keep a lot of length in your spine so your hips are reaching backward. And begin to slow your breath down a little bit here. You could find some gentle movement in your hips. If you're noticing any tension in your low back. And just try to let your muscles relax here. So I'm hoping this can be a position of relief and release for your muscles. But take a moment here just to listen to your body. And let go. Direct your breath to your shoulders. See if you can relax the muscles around your shoulders. Relax your hips and your knees, and your ankles. Maybe find some gentle movements in your hips, tilting your pelvis forward and backward, or moving from side to side. And place your hands back on the back of your chair. Bend your knees and slowly push yourself upright. And walk your feet back in. Breathe your shoulders up towards your ears. And as you exhale, relax them back down. All right, thank you for practicing with me today. Thanks for taking the time to listen to your body and take care of yourself. Please subscribe to my channels for more videos like this. We'll be exploring some fully seated videos as well as standing with the support of the chair. I hope you have a lovely day. Namaste.